Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyaye Sarvavighnopashantaye Agajana Padmarkam Gajanana Maharanisham Anekadantam Bhaktanam Ekadanta Upasmahe Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sai Brahma Sai Vishnu Sai Devo Maheshwaraha Sai Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Sai Namaha Shri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Sai Ram. Welcome to all the Sai devotees across the world. Today we have a very special satsang for you with the Mahabhakta Professor G.G. Narke's family. Amongst the highly placed and notable devotees who had direct contact with Sai Baba and performed worthy service for the Sai Sansthan, prominent mention has to be made of Professor G.G. Narke, M.A. Calcutta, M.Sc. Manchester, Professor of Geology and Chemistry in the College of Engineering, Poona. He was perhaps the one man with the largest number of degrees who served as a trustee of the Sansthan, and perhaps the most respected for his learning. Narke ji also had remarkable benefits from his contacts with Baba and had numerous opportunities to stay at Shirdi and get into close contact with Baba. His father-in-law was Mr. Buty of Nagpur. When his wife, mother, and father-in-law asked him to go to Shirdi to see Sai Baba, he first wanted to assure himself if Baba wanted him, and so wrote back that he would go if Baba wanted him. So in April 1913, he went up to see Sai Baba. Shama, alias Madhava Rao Deshpande, introduced him to Baba. Baba then said to Shama, "You introduce him to me. I have known him for 30 pidis." That was the initial surprise for Professor Narke. His first impression of Baba was derived by looking at Baba's eyes. Baba's eyes were piercing. His glance pierced Narke through and through. Long after Baba passed away in 1930, when Narke gave his statement, he said, "I still have the indelible impression of Baba sitting in the Chavadi with piercing eyes." Om Sai Ram. Welcome, Ji. Thank you for taking the time to come and speak in our satsang. Om Sai Ram. I will hand over the satsang session to you.
Dhanyavad Jai Shri Ji for the introduction. It is a great honor and a pleasure for me to introduce to the Bhakta Sampradaya at large my parents, Mr. Suresh B. Narke, who is not only the great grandson of Professor G.G. Narke, but also happens to be the grandson, I beg your pardon, who's not only the grandson of Professor G.G. Narke, but also happens to be the grandson of Kushabhau Joshi, a very revered Sai Bhakta of his times, from his maternal side. And my mother, Usha Suresh Narke. I would just like to ask him to narrate a few words, both about his paternal grandfather as well as about his maternal grandfather, about who they have been, especially about Kushabhau Joshi, because for Professor Gigi Narke, I shall take the conversation ahead. But for Kushabhau Joshi, unfortunately, the present representation is not there, and therefore he shall say a few words about that. I'm sorry, it is a little deviating, but just a couple of minutes, please. Over to you.
Yeah. Om Sai Ram. Thank you. Sounds good. Namaskar Ji. We are blessed to have you. We are blessed to have you here. You can start and share the experience, the information. Thank you.
Okay, I am a grandson of Kushabhau as well as Professor Narke. Unfortunately, when I was born, both of them were not alive. So we could not see them. My birth was from Nirasgaon, which is in Ahmednagar district. And I went there for 2-3 times only. Then afterwards, we could not go there because of various reasons. Then we are settled in Pune. Okay. And my entire education is in Pune. And then I was serving in Pune only. I was in the automobile field. And for the last 55 years, I was serving in automobile fields only. Now I'm close to 80 and very close to entire Bhaktagan of Sai Baba. That's it. Now, from my Narke side, now my father, there are 4 brothers. Now, unfortunately, none of them are alive. We are all here, and my cousin brothers and sisters, most of them are in states in various areas. My 3 sisters, they are in Pune and Nasik. They are settled here. That's all about me. Now you can ask me any question. हम लोग बात कर सकते हैं.
ओके. आप अगर हमें कुशाभाव के बारे में या प्रोफेसर जीजी नार्के के बारे में कुछ बताना चाहते हैं या अपने एक्सपीरियंसेस के बारे में बाबा के साथ, if there is anything that you can share that will be useful for the Sai Bandhus who are listening.
नहीं, अनफॉर्चुनेटली यही हुआ है कि मेरे जन्म के पहले ही वो both of them died. So directly we could not meet any time. और मेरे पास ऐसे कुछ सबूत भी नहीं है और हमारे पिताजी ने भी ऐसे कुछ बात नहीं की थी.
ओके ओके. आपके कुछ एक्सपीरियंसेस है बाबा के साथ जो आप शेयर?
नहीं, अनफॉर्चुनेटली नहीं.
ओके 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 ओके.
Jayashree ji, I would like to narrate after we are done with my father's present conversation. I would narrate a couple of incidences that I have experienced. उसके पश्चात मैं बात करूँगा.
Okay, okay. If anybody has questions for Narke ji, then you can put it in the chat and we can ask. But we can go ahead with the satsang, Amodji, so that the question and answer can come also in the end.
Bilkul. Okay. So I would like to preside on a certain facts that I learned, not actually through, I would say not actually through any script, because, you know, as I said in the previous conversation prior to the Omkar Smaran, that whatever has been published on the web page is visible and is accessible to virtually everyone. But what I have learned in my individual scope is something very precious I would like to share or present to you all. I remember बात लगभग 2015 की है. I was in one evening, I was at Shivaji Nagar Tofkhana रासनेजी's साई बाबा मंदिर उधर. बहुत ही अद्भुत और बहुत फेमस मंदिर है वो. हर भक्त को अवश्य वहां पे जाना चाहिए, भेंट करनी चाहिए वहां पे. तो वहां पे एक देयर इज अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग दिस थिंग. शाम को जो आरती होती है उससे पहले भगवान महाविष्णु सहस्त्र नाम स्तोत्रम का पठन हुआ करता है. बिल्कुल 5:45 बजे के करीब करीब स्तोत्र का पठन शुरू हो जाता है. एक सज्जन वहां पे आए थे जो कि उस समय रोज स्तोत्र का पठन खुद करते थे और वो ऑर्गेनाइज भी करते थे उस पठन का. जो भी पठन करने आते थे बाकी के लोग, ही यूज्ड टू ऑर्केस्ट्रेट दैट पर्टिकुलर इवेंट. मैं इस समय उनका नाम नहीं लूंगा, परंतु इट इज जस्ट फॉर अ नरेशन पर्पस दैट आई वांटेड टू प्रेजेंट दिस इंसिडेंस. उन्हें पता नहीं था कि मैं वहां पे बैठा हूं, ना ही मुझे पता था कि वो वहां पे उनके मन में क्या था या फिर उनके जान में क्या था. जब सारा पठन संपूर्ण हुआ सहस्त्र नाम स्तोत्रम का भगवान महाविष्णु जी का, तो मेरा परिचय उनसे करा दिया गया कि ऐसा ऐसा मैं हूं. तो बड़े प्यार से मेरे पास में आए और उन्होंने मुझे कहा कि ये अजीब और गरीब कोइंसिडेंस है. मैंने कहा क्या मैं जान सकता हूं इसका कारण क्या है? और उन्होंने कहा कि बाबा खुद कहा करते थे श्यामा जी को कि ये मैं मराठी में बात करूंगा और उसका मैं ट्रांसलेशन हिंदी में करूंगा बाद में. बाबा क्या कहते थे? वो कहते थे, काय रे ते विष्णू सहस्त्र नामावलीचं पाठ पठण करणं त्या नारकेनी आणि दीक्षितनी काय ठेका घेतलाय का? तू भी शिक की. ये बाबा कहा करते थे. उसका मतलब मैं हिंदी में समझाता हूं. वह उनका कहना था कि भगवान महाविष्णु का सहस्त्र नाम पठन जो शिरडी में हुआ करता था, क्या आप नारके और दीक्षित, क्या इन दोनों ने ठेका ले रखा है? आप क्यों नहीं सीखते? आप उनको ज्वाइन क्यों नहीं होते और आप उसका अध्ययन क्यों नहीं करते? ये उनका कहना था. और मुझे इस बात का बिल्कुल संकेत नहीं था, इस बात का ज्ञान भी नहीं था कि प्रोफेसर जी नारके स्वयं भगवान महाविष्णु सहस्त्र नाम का स्तोत्र पठन खुद किया करते थे. इट जस्ट केम टू मी hierarchically and through heredity, and I just started learning it. तो एक कुछ चीजें ऐसी होती है कि आपके न जानते हुए भी उसका जो परिज्ञान होता है आपके अंदर आ जाता है और एक स्वाभाविक रूप से आप उसका पालन करते हैं, आप उसकी प्रैक्टिस करते हैं. तो ये एक इंसिडेंस जो हमेशा मेरे स्मरण में रहेगा कि जो एक कोइंसिडेंस था या फिर एक इम्पार्टेशन ऑफ हायरार्चिकल नॉलेज आप समझ लीजिए. बट आई वाज वेरी ब्लेस्ड टू नो दैट दिस इज समथिंग दैट हैपेंड. दूसरा एक इंसिडेंस मैं नहीं बोलूंगा, लेकिन आज प्रोफेशनली जो लोग काम करते हैं, हम लोग, वी आर ऑल प्रोफेशनल्स सिटिंग ओवर हियर. सम मे हैव रिटायर्ड, सम स्टिल सर्विंग. हमेशा we are so clustered by our professional roles and responsibilities and duties that we happen to very often deviate our thoughts and our mindset procedures, and we happen to sometimes bend slightly or deviate the ethical part of it. Agar if you peep into the biopic, or the biography of Professor Gigi Narke, you would realize that not only that he was professionally functional and very, very credible and very eminent, but alongside that, भक्ति मार्ग का प्रयोग करने के कारण उनका अपने प्रोफेशन के प्रति जो एथिक्स थे, वो एक प्रकार का बैलेंस वो स्ट्राइक कर पाए उसमें, जो कि बहुत कठिन होता है. एंड स्पेशली इन टुडेज competent times, we realize that it is very difficult, it is very, very hard to achieve, hard to strike that balance. तो मैं समझता हूं कि एक प्रकार से ये जो है एक संदेश या फिर एक इंस्पिरेशन हम सब ने लेना चाहिए, not because he is my great grandfather, परंतु ये आचरण किसी और ने भी किया रहता था, तब भी मैं इस बात को एक इंस्पिरेशनल स्तर पर, इंस्पिरेशनल तौर पर इस बात को मैं अपने प्रैक्टिस में लेता था. ये एक बात मैं कहना चाहता हूं.
Yeah, thank you. That's so very true. It's a lesson that we can all derive from Amodji. Do you want to share the page that you were sharing before and talk through it?
जी बिल्कुल. जैसे कि आपने शुरू में ही, कैन यू सी द पेज ऑन द स्क्रीन, जयश्री जी?
Yes. You can scroll on top so that they can see the photo as well. Yeah, please
yes.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Is it visible to you? I believe.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Please let me know how I can present to you all, how I can be of help in this page.
No, you can talk about Professor Narke and anything here related to about his family, about his degree, anything you want from this page. You can talk through it. Anything that is relevant, and then people can go read it in detail.
Okay. There is one thing that I would prominently like to state in this. As I can suggest. Let me share it a little closely with you all. There is one thing that I would prominently like to state in this. Although both me and my father did not have the opportunity to physically see him and to interact with him, as his next generation and this thing, but we still had the honor and the pleasure and the privilege to see his creation. People often remain immortal through their creations. All people who have created something iconic, always remain immortal through their creations. He had built a mansion in his lifetime. As you know, in 1917, I guess it is, as it is mentioned on this this thing, biography over here. In 1917, he was in Pune for the interview at COEP today, that is College of Engineering, Poona then. And he got the job, he got the opportunity to serve the College of Engineering, Poona as a professor. And then eventually he was the vice principal of the college as well. During his lifetime, we all are aware that he had the divine and the most valuable task of building the mansion called Buty in Shirdi. But we also got to see his creation, his own mansion in Shivaji Nagar Pune, not very far from the Tofkhana Mandir of Rasne family. The name of his mansion was also Sai Bhavan. The idea of this whole mansion was that was वो एक ऐसा mansion था, एक ऐसा घर था कि जहाँ पे सदगुरु श्री साईनाथ महाराज का आवास हमेशा रहता था. तो वो उनका मैंशन जो है, उनके सिविल, जियोफिजिकल, स्ट्रक्चरल, मेटलर्जिकल, जियोलॉजिकल इंजीनियरिंग का एक मिश्रण था. It was a combo, it was a composite product of his knowledge, and we saw that as his creation. It was a beautifully constructed mansion. He himself had architected it. He himself had structural engineered it. He himself had placed the interior design or the interior placement of various amenities in that. There were furnishings of various types. बर्मा टीक से बने हुए काफी फर्नीचर के जो कंपोनेंट्स वहां पे अंदर थे, और बहुत ही अद्भुत और बहुत ही प्यारा सा वो मेंशन उन्होंने बांधा था वहां पे. और उसके माध्यम से आज बूटीवाड़ा तो सभी परिचित है, सभी ने वो देखा है. सारा संप्रदाय जो दुनिया भर से आते हैं वो तो उन्होंने देखा ही था, लेकिन उनका अपना खुद का जो है, उनके परिवार के सदस्य होने के नाते हमने वो खुद देखा. एंड वी कुड रीलिव हिज नॉलेज, हिज इंजीनियरिंग थ्रू दैट मैंशन. मेरे बाबूजी वहां पे उनका जन्म भी मतलब ऑल्दो द प्लेस ऑफ हिज बर्थ इज मिरजगांव, विच इज कुशाभाऊ's होम, लेकिन उनका सारा बचपन जो है, मेरे अनुमान से उनके उम्र के 18 साल तक वो उसी मैंशन में गुजरा है, उसी मैंशन में वो पले बढ़े हैं. तो उनकी यादें जो हैं वो बिल्कुल बरकरार है उनके मन में. और आप सबके ज्ञान के लिए, इंफॉर्मेशन के लिए, आप सबको पता होगा ही कि कुशाभाऊ जोशी जो थे, उनके अंतिम दिनों में भी उसी मैंशन में रहा करते थे. मुझे एग्जैक्ट तो पता नहीं कि कितने महीने वो वहां पे रह चुके थे, परंतु मेरी दादी, जो कि उनकी सबसे छोटी बेटी थी, उन्होंने मुझे कहा था कि उनके जो आखिरी दिन थे वह वहां पे आए थे. शायद इलाज के लिए भी आए होंगे, क्योंकि मेरे दादाजी जो कि उनके जमाई थे, वो खुद डॉक्टर होने के कारण उनको वहां पे इलाज के कारण कहीं ले जाना. And that time Pune was an epicenter of medical facilities as well, as we all are aware. So probably that was one of the reasons why he was there. लेकिन वो उनके अंतिम दिनों में भी वहां पे रहे थे. तो कितनी बड़ी बात है कि आज 2 महाभक्त उस मैंशन में रह चुके हैं. इससे सौभाग्यशाली बात और क्या हो सकती है. मतलब शिरडी में तो सारे महाभक्त गण रहे हैं, उसमें तो कोई नहीं. स्वयं बाबा वहां पे रहे हैं, वो तो निस्संदेह सबसे बड़ा ये है, पवित्र स्थान है. परंतु आज जो जीजी नारके जी का खुद का मेंशन है, आज वहां पे 2 महाभक्त एक रूफ के अंदर रहना, ये मेरे अनुमान से जो है ये एक बहुत ही बड़ी सौभाग्यशाली बात है.
Definitely. Is this mansion open to the public or is it a private residence, Jay?
Unfortunately, I'm sorry to say that the mansion no more exists.
Oh, okay.
Ji. It was rebuilt into an apartment in the year 1988-89. So it is unfortunately not in existence anymore.
Okay. No problem.
But I would definitely look around if there are any photographs of it at my end, and I would try to share it with you all, or I would make an effort to share those with you all.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. And in terms of Kushabhav, I think so people will like to know also a little bit about him, and that's given in the Sai Amritdhara as well. Would you like to share anything about him?
Unfortunately, other than the contents that are in Sai Amritdhara, there is not much that we are aware of at this point of time. So the only thing that I would like to add or to request is that जैसे कि मैंने रासने जी का जो साई मंदिर है शिवाजी नगर तोपखाना में, उसके विषय में मैंने कहा था कि हर साई भक्त को उस मंदिर में अवश्य भेंट करनी चाहिए. they should definitely pay a visit over there. उसी प्रकार से हर साई भक्त को कुशाभाऊ की जो समाधि स्थल है वहां पे अवश्य भेंट करनी चाहिए. अद्भुत अनुभव आते हैं. A very vibrant and a positive feeling over there. Very, very vibrant feeling. बिल्कुल अद्भुत होता है. तो यही मैं कहना चाहूंगा सबको, जो श्रोता है और जो भी क्लिप में देखेंगे, अवश्य वहां पे भेंट कर दीजिएगा.
Okay. And can you tell us the location of the samadhi of Kushabhav ji?
It is close to Parvati. There is a very prominent there's a very prominent memorial of Peshwas called Parvati. It's a small hillock over there, or a hill, I would say, in the middle of Pune city. उसके बिल्कुल फुटहिल पे ये है, बिल्कुल फुटहिल्स पे ये.
Okay.
जी.
And I think the other thing that a lot of the people in the Satcharita will have known is, how Baba asked Professor Narke ji to give dakshina of 15 rupees. And he did not have it. Do you want to just talk to us about that, Amod ji?
I can only infer from this that all superhumans have a very peculiar trend of pointing or indicating or inferring upon things in their own manner. एक पहेली की तरह कुछ चीजें होती है वहां पे, और पहेलियां आप जब जानते हैं और तब आपको समझ में आता है कि उनकी वो जो पहेली है उसका मतलब क्या होता है. और as it has been prominently written in Sai Amritdhara, probably because of his academic excellence, पहेलियां कुछ ज्यादा ही कठिन होती थी प्रोफेसर नार्के के लिए बाबा की तरफ से बाकी भक्तों के मुकाबले. तो उन्होंने जो कहा था कि 15 रुपीज, तो 15 रुपीज का एक्चुअली मतलब कुछ अलग था, और लोगों ने probably the reader of that particular content, because we all are in a very materialistic world, and the first thing is that we try to search the wallet whether we have that. And Professor Narke was also a professional, and therefore he also made the same sort of misinterpretation in that. And eventually when he realized what it actually everyone will be able to read on the webpage in the Sai Amritdhara what it all meant, so I wouldn't take a lot of time narrating in the elaborate details on that. But the moment you realize what it all was about, you realize how deeper details Baba had thought for his Mahabhaktas, and what his message was towards the Mahabhaktas. and how he used to guide, how he used to be a friend, philosopher as well, how he used to be a mentor, how he used to be a god for them. So the most important thing in this case, and how the Mahabhaktas gained insight and foresight in this, and how he brought the guiding light in their lives, because the Sai Amritdhara, in extension to what you just said, Jayashriji, Sai Amritdhara also said that he was in a very dire consequence in between 1913 and 1917, where he was jobless and he had financial problems and he was disoriented and he knew nothing what to do. And he ultimately submitted himself to Baba and said ki, he was in the line of people who were aspirants for the kafni. संन्यास लेने के विचार से उस लाइन में वो खड़े हुए, और केवल खड़े ही नहीं हुए, आग्रह किया उन्होंने बाबा जी को कि भाई मैं परेशान हो चुका हूं, मैं तंग आ चुका हूं मेरी परिस्थिति से, आप कृपया करके जो कफनी आप बांट रहे हैं भक्तगणों को, आप मुझे भी बांटें, और मुझे ये सारे जो लाइफ स्टाइल्स है और इस जीवन का जो मेन स्ट्रीम है उससे मुक्त करें। परंतु उनका कोरिलेशन जो है, भक्ति मार्ग का कोरिलेशन, जैसे मैंने आरंभ में ही कहा था कि भक्ति मार्ग का कोरिलेशन हम नहीं करते, हम करना चाहते हैं तो भी इतना आसान नहीं है, और आजकल के मटीरियलिस्टिक युग में तो है ही नहीं। परंतु गुरु जो होता है, गुरु के मन में उसका इंटीग्रेशन जो है, द होल मैथ इज कुक्ड अप इन हिज माइंड, और गुरु उसे जो है प्रेजेंट करता है वक्त आने पर, उचित समय आने पर। तो उन्होंने, अगर आपने उनके जो बायोग्राफी है अगर पढ़ी, या फिर उनके जो उनके जो करियर का जो ग्राफ आपने देखा, तो बाबा हैड फोरसाइटेड and foreseen a massive seismic movement in the tectonic plates around Balochistan, which is now in Pakistan. And that was early anticipated by Professor G.G. Narke during his tenure as a geologist in his career. And it was expected that such this thing is that such a work, divine work of anticipating this particular tectonic movement be taken place, and that he would save the mankind, and the losses to the humanity and to the well-being of a nation that could have taken place. So that is probably one of the reasons why Baba didn't want him to take sannyas.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And the other thing about Professor Narke that all the Sai Bandhus might also know about is he is the one who sent the letter to Dr. Kaparde about Baba's Niryan. Can you speak a little bit on that, if appropriate?
I am really not very literate about that, so making a speculation on that wouldn't be a very good idea. Although I definitely do know that they were closely integrated internally, but to get into elaborate details, I would have to be a little more literate about that, which I unfortunately am not.
Okay, no problem, Ji, no problem.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And about Kusaba also, I think Amodji, people will be it'll be informative for people to know about Kusabhav, and if you can, even if it's from the Amritdhara, if you can just talk through the salient points that about from that for the people, that will be helpful.
Unfortunately, I have very little or virtually practically no knowledge about Kusabhav, and I'll tell you the reason for that. The reason for that is that my grandmother happened to be his youngest daughter. She was conceived in his late 50s. And after that, he barely was at home. And that's one of the reasons why she herself had very little knowledge about him. And the impartation of knowledge from the previous generation to the next generation and to the further generation, therefore, did not take place as far as Kusabhav is concerned. And not much literature has been into my contact from his side.
Okay. You can scroll a little bit down in this page itself to show them. Yeah.
Yes. As I would like to introduce my grandparents on your screen is where my pointer is right now. Dr. Balakrishna Ganesh Narke, the second son and my grandfather, second son of Professor Gigi Narke. To his side is his wife and my grandmother, Neela Devi Balakrishna Narke, the youngest daughter of Revered Kusabhav Joshi, whom we have been talking about just now.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. All right. Is there anything else, Amodji, that you would like to share with us?
I believe that I have practically shared whatever I had lined up for the presentation this evening from my end.
Okay. There is one, we'll go through the question and answers. If anybody has any questions, please type it either in YouTube or Zoom, and I'll try to ask the questions of the Narke family. It says, one of the questions is, we have heard that Sri Sai ordered Kusabhav to read Guru Charitra 108 times. Is it the same Kusabhav here that we are knowing about?
Yes, he is the same one.
Okay. So any other questions? It says, how far is Rasane? I think they mean the temple that you're talking about. In Poona, how far is it from Shirdi is what they are asking.
I'm sorry, which temple you're talking about?
The Rasne temple.
Oh, Rasne temple, yes. It is actually right in the middle of Pune city. It is the distance between Pune and Shirdi is practically between 140 to 150 kilometers, I guess, maybe even more, because I have never calculated that. But if you Google it on the Google Maps, saying that Rasne Sai Baba Mandir, Shivaji Nagar, you would definitely get right there.
Yeah. That temple has a lot of historic as well as spiritual significance. Right from it was established by Nana Sahib Rasne, if I'm not wrong.
Absolutely. And I'm not sure if my friend Dr. Parag Rasne is present at the satsang session just now, but if he is, then he will be in a better position to give you elaborate details. But absolutely, as true as you have said, it is simply enchanting and divine, and one has to make a visit over there. People have vibrant experiences. You have to be really fortunate to have that. I mean, I'm not gonna get into elaborate details, and I'm not gonna say something that that I have experienced, because there are some things that I would like to keep it to myself, and therefore I would not like to state that. But anyone who goes there with divine spiritual intention in mind, and with the innermost and the deepest love for Sadguru Sri Sainath Sai Baba, will definitely not fail to realize that. Definitely, one should definitely make a visit to the temple.
Okay. Yeah, awesome.
And as best, I'm sorry, I just like to add something. As best as possible, try visiting them for the evening aarti. That is the best experience that you should have.
Okay, okay, okay. And your family and right from Professor Narkeji's time, I'm assuming that you all people resided in Pune from before.
Yes, absolutely. We all have been living in Pune itself.
Okay, okay. All right. Any other questions? Okay. I don't see any other questions. Okay, it says, okay, there is one question that says, can you explain about Kusabhav eating onion story with Baba on Ekadashi? I guess they are referring to the story on the Sai Amritara.
Absolutely. I remember vaguely reading the story, as it is a prominent belief in Maharashtra, because fasting and food, while fasting food and regular food are always distinct, and they are different in different parts of the country. That's what I have known. I'm not the most expert to make a comment on that, but onion is definitely not the food that one consumes.
If you are allowing me to tell something about Kushabhav and details, I can tell you.
Yes, please.
Yeah, thank you. We have Pawar Kaka on the call. He
Wow.
said that he would be, he can talk a little bit about Kushabhav. Are you okay with that?
Absolutely. Pawar Kaka, Sairam.
Sairam.
Sairam, it's an honor to have you.
Thank you.
Please, Pawar Kaka.
Kaka, please share your video as well. If possible.
Can I talk? Can you listen to me?
Yes, yes, yes. We can hear you.
Okay.
Please go ahead. Please
The great thing about Kushabhav, if you analyze the things, the way he had come in contact with Baba, Lord Sai Baba, it's a total transformation from one tantric to a great Sai devotee of hardcore Sai devotee of Sai Baba. I have not read much more about Sai Amritdhara, but there are interviews taken of Kushabhav by Narasimha Swami Maharaj, and he has explained how he came into contact with Sai Baba and what happened on first visit. Is it written here? I don't know, but I'll just explain. The thing is, Kushabhav, he was just sitting in front of Sai Baba in Masjid Mai, Dwarka Mai, and Baba was chewing that what you call betel leaf, and he spit it. Just moment he spitted it, Kushabhav immediately licked it. The moment he licked it, Kushabhav got all his tantric power vanished. Kushabhav was such a tantric of such a high level that he used to take money or pedas or sweets from here, just like that. He used to have food, whatever he wish, I mean, from his with tantric power. But Baba did not approve or did not wanted Kushabhav to end his life like this, because the Tantra Vidya has got its own power. Baba wanted him to be spiritually strong and enrich himself. And that is why, by just licking that spit of Baba, that betel leaf, immediately, suddenly, all of a sudden, that Kushabhav transformed from one that is a tantric to a great hardcore devotee. One thing I must mention, or I'm sorry, Amol, I just wanted to mention that in the Parvaticha Paitasi, and it just
Yes.
that lower area of that Parvati, that is a hilly station there. There is a mandir, there is a temple, Datta temple, Datta Mandir. And in that Datta Mandir, Kushabha's Samadhi is there. So if you can mention it, Datta Mandir, immediately people will get it. Another one thing is about Narke sir. I will take this, maybe some people may not like it. Narke sir was a overqualified person in his faculty, in his stream of that era. There were a handful of people all over India who were such of high caliber and highly educated person like Narke sir. And very few opportunities were there in government stream and other things. Most of the jobs were controlled by government. And that is why Professor Narke sir had to take a short-term appointments or short-term assignments. But every time he was taking assignments, actually one time Narke sir was assigned one job in Myanmar, or I think Burma or Thailand, in that area.
In Rangoon.
And he asked for the permission from Baba. Baba says, go, but go through via Poona. Every time Narke sir was answered by Baba, like, go, but go via Poona. This via Poona was not, it's such an ambiguous thing. Narke sir, it was not clear to the Narke sir. But finally, he is destined to work throughout his life as a renowned professor of geology in Poona. This was something, extra details, just I wanted to share. Sorry if I am interrupted you.
No, Pawar Kaka, I'm deeply grateful to you for both sharing the details or enlightening us, let me use the right word, about Kushabha also, and also stating the facts bluntly and straightforwardly about Professor G.G. Narke also. So we all, as his present generation and as his family members are, and for that matter, next immediate relatives of Kushabha also, we are indebted to you and grateful to you for sharing this. Thank you so much.
I'm taking this very bold statement because the person was very much ahead of the era. If Professor Narke would have been today, he was in much demand. But that time, the faculty, the stream which he was a specialist in, was having hardly any scope. People are not aware of what is geology. And he has taken, and maybe it's God's wish, he has taken that stream or etc. That is why he could not get a permanent job for quite a long period, a long time. Why? Because आप बहुत बड़े हैं, आपके लिए जगह ही नहीं है. That was his problem, and that is why I told you that he was overqualified from that particular era. And you must be seeing, from all the people around Baba, he was the highest educated person in geology. Not geology, in other way also.
In academics at large, I would say. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pawar Kaka. Thank you so much for enlightening us.
Thank you, Kaka. Thank you. So, Amodji, if we are done with this Sai Amritdhara, you can stop the sharing so that people can see you and your parents.